For years, Anna Duggar stood by her husband's side, through scandal, shame, and now, a prison sentence that has left her world shattered. But behind the forced smiles and carefully curated public silence, a much deeper pain is playing out, one that's quietly reshaping the lives of her 7 children. This is not just Josh Duggar's story anymore. It's the story of a mother doing everything she can to hold together what's left of a broken home. It's the story of children growing up in the shadow of their father's darkest choices, navigating confusion, loss, and silence in a world that watches but doesn't fully understand. Today, we peel back the curtain on the emotional toll of Josh Duggar's imprisonment, not just on Anna, but on the innocent lives most affected by his actions. From sudden changes in routines to quiet signs of distress in the kids, what's really going on behind the scenes? This is Emotional Bombshell. Josh's prison shakes Anna Duggar, kids' quiet world. And what you're about to hear may just break your heart. Anna Duggar's world changed the moment Josh was sentenced to over a decade behind bars. But while the cameras turned away from the courtroom and public attention shifted to other scandals, Anna's silence became deafening. Her behavior since Josh's incarceration hasn't just sparked quiet concern, it's ignited a storm of speculation about what's really going on behind the scenes. In the months that followed Josh's sentencing, Anna virtually disappeared. She pulled back from public appearances, quietly stepping out of the spotlight she once cautiously embraced. Fans noticed she was no longer showing up in family photos, especially at big Duggar events where she used to stand proudly with her children in matching outfits, always with a carefully curated smile. Birthday parties, weddings, baby showers, Anna was either missing or appeared ghost-like in the background, never the focus, never the same. On social media, her silence has been even more jarring. Once active on Instagram, sharing glimpses of family life, Bible verses, and the occasional support for her husband, Anna has completely gone dark. No posts. No updates. No interaction with fans. Even as other Duggar women began rebranding themselves post-scandal, distancing from the family name, reclaiming their narratives, Anna stayed frozen. It's as though time stopped for her the moment Josh was taken away. And that silence has not gone unnoticed. Whispers have grown louder about Anna's emotional state. Some close to the family reportedly fear she's struggling with severe depression, trapped between the loyalty she's been taught to uphold and the betrayal she can't publicly acknowledge. Emotional isolation, especially in such a tightly controlled environment, is not just likely, it's inevitable. Her support system has fractured. Her reality has been upended. And yet, she has no safe place to land. For many women, faith is a comfort. But for Anna, it may be a double-edged sword. The same biblical values that taught her to forgive and submit are now keeping her bound to a husband convicted of horrifying crimes. Those teachings have created an internal war, a conflict between what she believes is expected of her and what she may now deeply feel. Sources say she still visits Josh regularly in prison, often bringing the children, reinforcing the image of a devoted wife. But is that devotion real, or is it survival? Is she truly standing by her man, or is she simply afraid of the fallout that comes with walking away? In a culture where divorce is shunned, and women are often taught their worth is tied to their role as wives and mothers, Anna's silence speaks volumes. It's not just grief, it may be quiet rebellion, or worse, quiet surrender. And perhaps the most heartbreaking part is this. Anna has no voice right now. Not because she doesn't have one, but because everything around her, her upbringing, her church, her family, has told her not to use it. As the chaos surrounding Josh Duggar's imprisonment continues to ripple through the Duggar family, one group has remained largely silent: his 7 children. Behind the headlines and courtroom drama lies a far more delicate tragedy: the emotional toll on the kids, who have quietly been forced to navigate a world that no child should have to understand. Anna has made every effort to shield her children from public scrutiny, pulling back from public life almost entirely. The family has retreated into a bubble, largely avoiding family gatherings, social media, and any form of exposure that might bring judgment or uncomfortable questions. But even the strongest walls can't block out everything. The Duggar name is now synonymous with scandal, and no matter how isolated their lifestyle may be, whispers always find their way in. The children, ranging in age from toddlers to teenagers, live in a reality far removed from most kids their age. They are homeschooled, raised under strict conservative rules, and kept within a very small, insular social circle. There are no typical school activities, no sports teams, no neighborhood playdates. Their world is one of routine, caution, and heavy supervision. This lack of normalcy, while once part of their faith-based upbringing, now feels more like a protective response to a family crisis. Family insiders say the emotional strain is beginning to show. Some of the older children are reportedly more withdrawn, while the younger ones often ask questions they don't fully understand. One source close to the family mentioned that Anna tries her best to keep things upbeat, but there's a constant heaviness in the home. The children may not know all the details, but they know something is wrong. They know their father is gone, and not just on a long trip. They sense their mother is tired, stressed, and overwhelmed. Despite her attempts to remain stoic, Anna has her hands full. She is raising 7 children almost entirely on her own, emotionally and financially, while also wrestling with her own inner turmoil. The responsibility is staggering. She reportedly still brings the kids to see Josh in prison when allowed, which stirs up more confusion for them, especially when those visits end with tearful goodbyes and locked doors. What's perhaps most heartbreaking is that these children didn't choose this life. They didn't choose to be born into fame, into scandal, or into the toxic aftermath of their father's actions. Yet here they are, caught in the eye of a storm, trying to make sense of a broken world while clinging to what little stability they have left. Behind the closed doors of the Duggar family home, there's a deepening divide, one that even the most polished family photos can't hide anymore. Jim, Bob, and Michelle, once the unwavering anchors of a family built on unity, are now reportedly dealing with increasing fractures, especially in how to handle Anna Duggar's ongoing emotional turmoil. Sources close to the family have suggested that Jim Bob is still fiercely committed to controlling the family narrative. He continues to defend Josh, at least in private, and holds firm to the belief that Anna should remain loyal, patient, and faithful. Michelle, while still outwardly calm, is said to be more emotionally conflicted. Insiders whisper that she's heartbroken over Anna's suffering and has privately confided in others that she's unsure how to help without going against Jim Bob's lead. But the cracks don't stop at the patriarch and matriarch. Cousin Amy Duggar King, never shy about voicing her opinions, has drawn a clear line in the sand. For years, Amy has distanced herself from the Duggar family's more extreme beliefs, and now, her vocal support for Anna's independence has ignited tension within the extended family. On social media and in interviews, Amy has subtly, and at times not so subtly, called out the silence of other Duggar siblings. Her message is clear: love means standing up, not staying quiet. This has only amplified the emotional tug-of-war for Anna. Some Duggar siblings are privately supportive, checking in on her, sending help, and even offering advice. But many remain publicly silent. They post cheery family updates, quote scripture about forgiveness, and stay far away from mentioning Josh or Anna's reality. This divide, between those who show quiet support and those who keep their distance, has left Anna suspended in a painful limbo. It's also exposed a startling contrast: private loyalty versus public allegiance. Jessa, for example, has reportedly kept some connection with Anna but avoids any public acknowledgement. Jill, now estranged from Jim Bob, hasn't directly reached out but has expressed concern for Anna's well-being in general terms during interviews. Meanwhile, Joanna and John David are rumored to be walking a tightrope, torn between their loyalty to the family legacy and their desire to be decent siblings. The big question that haunts this division is, who's really there for Anna? Is she being quietly supported or quietly abandoned? From the outside, it's nearly impossible to tell. But behind closed doors, it's clear that the once unbreakable Duggar family is now living with deep emotional fractures, and Anna is standing in the middle of all of them. Anna Duggar's life has become a quiet battleground of impossible choices. For years, she stood by Josh through scandal after scandal, silently enduring public ridicule, family whispers, and the weight of raising 7 children virtually on her own. But now, with Josh behind bars for a lengthy sentence and public sympathy all but evaporated, many are asking, is Anna still choosing to stand by her disgraced husband, or is she simply trapped in denial? According to several sources close to the Duggar family, Anna continues to take phone calls from Josh at the prison. These calls, which are monitored by authorities, are reportedly frequent and sometimes emotionally charged. Insiders claim Josh leans heavily on Anna during these calls, trying to maintain control, reassert his innocence, and emotionally manipulate her from behind bars. Meanwhile, Anna reportedly keeps a calm tone, but those closest to her say she sounds more like someone going through the motions than someone genuinely invested. When it comes to prison visits, they've become far less frequent. While Anna made efforts in the early months to bring the children along, the strain of those visits has taken a toll. Sources indicate that it's increasingly rare for her to show up in person, perhaps a sign that something is shifting beneath the surface. Some believe the physical and emotional exhaustion, combined with the discomfort of bringing young children into a prison environment, is forcing Anna to reevaluate her loyalty. Others argue she's still clinging to the belief that Josh may one day be vindicated, or that her faith requires her to stand by her man no matter the cost. Mentally and emotionally, Anna is said to be in a fragile state. Reports suggest that she's withdrawn from many extended family members, especially those who've been outspoken against Josh. While Michelle Duggar reportedly still offers quiet support, Jim Bob is said to be far more guarded, possibly due to legal concerns or simply to avoid being seen as supporting Josh too publicly. Cousin Amy Duggar King, who has openly begged Anna to leave Josh and think about her children first, remains on the outs with her. In private, insiders claim Anna expresses deep anxiety, moments of depression, and signs of spiritual confusion. Torn between the church's teachings on forgiveness and loyalty and the stark reality of her husband's actions, Anna is caught in a painful limbo. Her identity, once rooted in being a devout wife and mother, now seems fractured. Those around her say she's questioning what her life means without Josh at the center. She's unsure whether to rebuild, retreat, or remain frozen in place, worried about what a public break from Josh might mean for her children, her church standing, and her own sense of purpose. For Anna, this isn't just a story of heartbreak, it's a spiritual and emotional identity crisis unfolding in real time. As the camera zooms out on this emotional saga, one thing becomes painfully clear. The Duggar children's future remains shrouded in uncertainty. Without their father, and with their mother navigating a quiet emotional storm, these young souls are caught in a fragile in-between space. They didn't ask for the spotlight. They didn't choose this legacy. And yet, every choice being made around them will shape the adults they become. Anna Duggar, once the ever-devoted wife and mother who stood by Josh even when the world recoiled, now stands at a crossroads, emotionally, spiritually, and personally. Her silence, once a symbol of loyalty, now echoes louder than ever before. Is it grief? Is it shame? Is it fear? Or is it the slow unraveling of a woman who has been holding it together for far too long? This isn't just the story of a scandal. It's the story of what happens after the headlines fade, of children left to piece together their sense of self in the shadows of judgment, of a wife trying to reconcile faith, duty, and heartbreak, of a family that once claimed to be built on unshakable values, now quietly coping behind closed doors. In the end, maybe the loudest truth is the one we don't hear, the silence of a mother who doesn't know what to say anymore, the stillness of kids who've lost their normal, and the aching absence of a father whose choices stole more than just his freedom. The Duggars may never publicly say it, but behind the scenes, this family is no longer whole. And as time moves forward, that silent unraveling may be the most devastating chapter yet. For years, Anna Duggar was the quiet one, the dutiful wife, the loyal mother, the woman who never spoke out, even as headlines blazed with shame, betrayal, and scandal. While the world watched Josh Duggar's downfall unfold in public, Anna stayed silent. But silence doesn't mean strength, and now, something is breaking. Behind the soft smiles and filtered family photos, the cracks are starting to show. Josh may be behind bars, but Anna? She's trapped too. Trapped in a life she didn't choose, carrying the weight of a scandal she never asked for, raising 7 children in a home that feels more like a fortress than a family. The whispers are growing louder. Insiders hint at emotional strain, a growing disconnect from the Duggar clan, and signs that Anna may be nearing her breaking point. And her children, the ones caught in the crossfire, are growing up in a world marked by confusion, silence, and sorrow. This isn't just about Josh's crimes. It's about the aftershock, the emotional bombshell that's still going off, long after the cameras moved on. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the quiet unraveling of Anna Duggar's world and the haunting reality her children are growing up in. From rare public appearances to troubling insider reports, this story isn't just heartbreaking. It's a revelation. One that may finally pull back the curtain on the emotional cost of loyalty, shame, and the silence that's lasted far too long. Hello, lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Christina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want the next section. We can jump straight into Anna's unraveling silence, the kids' quiet world, or wherever you want to go next. While Anna remains cloaked in silence, the reality for her 7 children is even more sobering. Without their father and with limited exposure to the outside world, these kids are growing up in a bubble shaped by secrecy, discipline, and confusion. Sources close to the Duggar circle say the children rarely leave the home except for tightly supervised church or family events. They're still being homeschooled, not uncommon for the Duggar clan, but without the bustling support system they once had. No Michelle popping in to check on lessons. No cousin playdates. No group activities with the broader Duggar family, like before. The once tightly knit family unit appears frayed when it comes to Anna and her children. Emotionally, the toll is becoming visible, especially among the older children. They're old enough to ask questions. They've heard whispers. They've seen news headlines and probably noticed the awkward glances and hushed tones when their father's name comes up. And with Anna refusing to engage in open conversations, those kids are left to fill in the gaps themselves, often with silence, shame, or confusion. And for the younger ones, they're growing up without any real memories of their father as a free man. Their world now is confined to routine, mom juggling the stress of survival, older siblings stepping in as pseudo-parents, and a looming sense of absence that nobody talks about directly. It's not just about missing a parent. It's about growing up in a house that's stuck in emotional survival mode, where grief is unspoken, fear is normal, and loyalty to silence is the most enforced rule. For a group of children who didn't ask for any of this, it's an incredibly fragile foundation to grow up on. In the end, this isn't just Josh Duggar's story anymore. It's Anna's story. It's her children's story. It's the story of what's left behind after the headlines fade, when the courtrooms are silent and the media spotlight moves on. But the emotional wreckage doesn't simply vanish. It lingers in the stillness of their home. It shows in Anna's tired, distant gaze. It whispers through the quiet lives of 7 children growing up with questions they may never get answers to. And yet, Anna remains silent, stoic, still standing. But for how long? Because as the cracks grow wider and the pressure builds, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The Duggar world, once polished and tightly controlled, may never be the same again. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we continue to uncover the truths behind the silence.